misunderstanding there. I do not want to stand before you and disrespect you and behave as though that get to my knowledge that many of you arrived and you even signed a register. As on behalf of the municipality, the agencies that are working on this fund, there must have been a great misunderstanding, but that's not why I'm standing before you today. Today I'm standing before you to officially give you what you were supposed to have been getting, and I'm hoping you've been asking for assistance with the Spaza Shop Fund. So the fund itself was launched by the it was announced by the president a couple of months ago. Last year, the president ukhulume ukuthi iningi lethu kumele sihambe so-registara, and this was after the foodborne illness happened especially in Gauteng. And people were dying, kids were dying, and others were being sick. So then, Gwabane state of national disaster, which means that this is now a dire problem within our country and it needs to be resolved. On the 8th of May, our minister, Minister Pakstau and Minister Stella Ndabeni, they then launched a 500 million fund which belongs to you as South Africans. This fund is meant to assist you with your Spaza shops. Now, for the first time, the government is saying that, dear Spaza shop owners, you're not just getting a 3,000 rand, you're not getting a 10,000 rand, but they're saying for each and every Spaza shop, you qualify for a maximum of 100,000. That is some level of growth from Lanibuya Kona. I know it's not the best amount, it may not be what you need, but it's a starting point from Lasbuya Kona. So how does that now work, and just get your understanding. Or understand if there are problems within the municipality that prevent you from making sure that this fund because I know business license, which is what the president has been asking for, to go and register with your municipality. And then most of you will say, but asnai. So I think the program director put it quite well to say, to address some of these concerns. Now the fund itself, if you may allow me just a moment to just explain the fund before I take you through the system. What I'm going to do today is take you through how to actually apply, give you details as to who can you call, how do you get access to, and go. Because some of us, but we are not certain what the next person is doing. Some of us siyayenzelwa asicela ngalo and asazi nokuthi khona application. Some of us maybe sicabanga ukuthi sizoyenzela umuntu angaphandle, and then we will land in a bit of trouble. So maybe ngikhona ukuthi just to explain it to you, make you comfortable with what the fund is supposed to do, so that we move ngendlela healthy and beneficial for everyone involved. Now, the fund is mainly job essential by foodborne illness. But with that said, what our objective is, we want to try and increase the participation of South Africans. And this is the biggest thing now. If you look at posts where you see my face, you see a lot of other things involving the fund, people keep saying, Gafana, it's going to land in the wrong hands. I'm here to give you this comfort. I am saying, from a systems perspective, from a rolling out perspective, I have personally made sure that it lands in your hands. Where I need your help is to make sure that when uhlezila applying for the fund, awinigi omunye umuntu. Because that's where sometimes we miss the gap. Remember, the government can do all it can to prevent. I'll make sure I'll do a DD, I'll come and check, I'll be calling you, but you'll be answering the phone. But I need maybe in Vasha once a week. And when for the next 6 days, with someone else who's owning the store. So who's fooling who? And in the greater scheme of things, you're not just fooling the government or even the community, but you're doing us wrong as a community. Because magukula economy Sedibeng, kukula economy Gauteng, kukula economy country. So we need to start thinking of it from that perspective, that what you do affects me, and what I do affects you. So we now want to say to you that this fund is for strictly South Africans or South African-owned Spaza shops. So even if we're business, Your business must be 100% registered, and all directors must be South Africans for you to qualify for this fund. We do work with the Department of Home Affairs, CIPC, to ensure that we check some of these details in Isnigazon. Now, we want to make sure we provide safe and affordable products to our communities. Now, it's one of the things that I think I often spend a bit of time guyole, because someone says, but I've been doing that. I mean, or for years and years, that's the Spaza shops. So why is it suddenly an issue which is safe and affordable? Now, let me make an example. What happens, or ibis, give a example. Ibis, you selling milk. Now, when's the queen? Ibisla, when the queen right next to Ibisla, go Spaza shop. Do you know what by operating you are affecting the lifespan of ibis? That on its own, means would you now, as a Spaza shop owner, agree with umbulali lusiziwe? Ambulanga ngenhloso ngithi. Barusala umbulali. And there are consequences. Now, we want to start helping you, making sure that the products that you're supplying, they are safe and they are affordable and they are good for your consumers. I don't think there's any of you who would kill a customer ngamabomu, because that same customer is a person who was ukudla. So none of us are doing this deliberately, but we do make mistakes and we're not sure. I'll make another example. Ngebisi still. Ibis, molbege mnyango. Do you know that umnyango wefriji akumelanga kuhlala ibisi? Because uma uvula umnyango lithola ukushisa. Uma uvala umnyango lithola ukubanda. Uphinde uvule lithola ukushisa. Liphinde uvule and ibisi libhalile alizange lithi room temperature changes is acceptable. Lithi keep refrigerated. Meaning we're supposed to be keeping ibisi at the back of our fridge. But most of us don't do that. Now, before we run the project, I'll be honest with you. So I myself was guilty of that. I didn't even know that I myself could be poisoning my kids in the long run. But it's things that we do, and we just need to help you in making sure that these products that you're offering, they become safe and they become affordable. Now, in the sense of affordability, what we are doing is, example here, which is understand, because omunye la ngiyakhona uthe awungangitshela ungu-affordable, ngiyamazi mina affordable, letha le mali ngizozibona mina. So ngiyenza example enye. If ngiyafika njengoba ningifikile namhlanje aningazi nonke, I don't think khona ubuse ngibonile ngithe ngiyakwazi ningangiphi 1,000 rand iSpaza shop sakho ukuthi ngiyokuthengela istock nonke. Aningithembi? Do I not look presentable enough ukuthi ningithembe nje? South Africa la ne ugebengu bukhona. All right. That same level of or lack of trust is what's killing us, because our counterparts bayahlangana bona. Whether they do it in different ways, they do it in different ways. In other communities, bonke kanje. Let's assume it's 200 manje. Bakhipha 1,000 rand abo bangiphe mina. Now on a calculator ngangiphi answer. 1,000 multiplied by 200. So it's 1,000 rands multiplied by 200. Ngicela answer. Imalini? Okay. Now imagine when you are hamba manje you are wholesale. Uthenga nge 1,000. Uzobuya, let's say uthenga packet lama chips. Uzobuya ne packet lama chips lingaka ngithi. Maybe la lingana leli mina ngizothola no i-counterpart ezothola store. Now, when I get 1,000 yako, utenge out to pela, and maybe masibala each in the packet cost about 10 rand per chips. But with 200,000, I go to a wholesaler. I've got buying power. And I'm saying, I want a packet of chips. What's what discount? Instead of getting the same 2, maybe it's also 20. And with that said, now a packet of chips in the same box is now costing you 7 rand as an example. Almost you tell that packet of chips, when you're guys waiting 8 rand, no 9 rand. Instead of waiting 12 rand, no 11 rand. What that is called, these are the economies of scales. Ne? Buying power, bulk purchasing. Asinayo thina abantu abamnyama. Or thina abantu bala South Africa ngathi abantu abamnyama. Thina abantu bala South Africa asinayo. We are lacking in that. Now we are saying, can we be the ones to help you with negotiating that element of buying power or bulk purchasing? With this fund, we've already done that on your behalf. We've gone to our suppliers, DCPs, delivery channel partners. Discounts, and then deliver. It's going to help you with instead of to tell stock is number one. It's going to help you with instead of ukubege uthengisa ipacket lama chips ngo-11 rand or ngo-12 rand, awuqala uba ulingane nomlingane wakho next door. Kwezinye indawo abiza abantu bokuhamba, ngiyazi la eGauteng sabiza ngamagama ahlukile, angifuni ukubiza lamagama ethu unless if nila igama elimnandi nani. Kwezinye indawo bathi abantu bokuhamba ne. Siya happy ngalo gama ngiyobhizinisi abantu bokuhamba, nazi ngikhuluma ngana ngithi abantu bokuhamba bathengisa ngo-5 rand, 7 rand, wena uthengisa ngo-11 rand, 12 rand. Now mina ngihola 350 lo nguthola kuhulumeni. If mina ngikhethe between wena nomuntu wokuhamba, same 350 that most South Africans are earning, what choice do you think I'll make? Same 350 must make sure ukuthi ithenga ukudla endlini, abantwana baya esikolweni, bayagqoka. Do you think I'll continue making the choice of ukuthi ngithenge kuwe than ukuthi ngithenge la ku-affordable khona? Now we are losing our customers because of that. That's number one. Number two, what I learned this week. Abantwana bane power as bantu abadala. Abantwana bethu bane power. Unika umntwana 10 rand, naye usayazi i-buying power. Instead of uthi ahamba yekuloyo odurayo, umntwana sekabalisa umama le 10 rand ngingaphinda ngiphi. Uzohamba aye kumuntu okuhamba, do the same thing than ukuthi aye kumakhelwane wala South Africa athenge khona. Which is another element that we need to start thinking about. How do we train our kids, tina endlini, to start buying at the right place? Or even, because it's not that you're wrong there, but to support local entrepreneurs. How do we teach abantwana bethu or even each other ukuthi let's start supporting umakhelwane wethu? Nayazi nje ukuthi pull her down. Siyekele kancane uthi ungathi umakhelwane ungcono uyethenga le uyethenga le. Let's start supporting each other kule area esikuyo. But to do that, there's a number of things that we need to do. The price, availability of stock, indaba yokuthi stock kwawena usithenga ngeamount edura and udinga ukwenza imagine. I mean, the business day uqalele ukuthi endlini nikele ukulamba. You can't be hungry in the house with that said. So we want to help you with that. And njengoba ngithi we want to help you with that. Lastly is we want to help you to be competitive. Being competitive means that you can survive in the same environment. Not to makhelwane uzovala, but the next person can choose you instead of makhelwane. The next person can make sure at least let me decide I'm going to start supporting Umaki because Umaki is doing the exact same thing as Lomo and even better, maybe say it's a proudly South African product and so forth. So this is the aim of this particular program. Asizami ukuchinja anything that you have been doing. Spaza shops, as I've mentioned. Actually, the Spaza shops, the confuse abantu indaweni eziningi la ngiyakhona. Allow me to say this. You are actually a convenience store. There is very little difference between you and a Pick and Pay, as an example. The difference akhona ukuthi Pick and Pay mkhulu wena umncane. But you are selling the exact same products being sold at Pick and Pay. So you are actually a retailer. Asiyehlise futhi kancane. Spaza shop is a general dealer. In the sense of, I've done the same workshop, being say Bizan. So shocked, you drive and drive and drive, abana luto. Like she's so privileged like how things zengathi yo ibhlungu lento engiyibona la. Umuntu uhlala le phezulu kwentaba. Udepende ku Spaza shop for inyama, for rice, for impahla yokugqoka, for literally every single thing. Ukuthi inje yakhe idle. Udepende ku Spaza shop. So basically what I'm saying to you now is that if you are a general dealer, within the means of a household supplier, meaning ukuthi usupplier izinto zasendlini, whether ukudla kwenja, uyenza amakota, uyenza amashwama, uthengisa i-tea stuff, isinkwa, qualify as a Spaza shop fund. You qualify for a Spaza shop fund. So I hope I've clarified as to who qualifies and who then would not qualify for the fund. Now with that said, here's what I've learned that it's one of the difficult things. And I'm hoping you're also gonna help me to make it easier. Because if I need to I'm also unable to help one person Sedibeng. The only thing that is being required from yourselves is a municipal license. So the fund does not look at many things. It does not even look at you've got a bad credit. It does not look at your history. You need to have a municipal license. Whether it's a trading permit or it's a business license, that's all you need to have. And it needs to be valid on it. And then you submit that, you qualify for the fund. We're gonna do some DDs, we'll check which everything is in order, what you're asking for is exactly what you need. But that is the only thing that you need to qualify for the fund. Yes, if you are handling food, that same document is going to be accompanied by, or the fund, this fund is gonna help you in getting a COA. Depending on your municipality requirements. Abanye benu as uleti license uza a COA. Abanye benu in other municipalities they can bring a COA later. So I'm not sure exactly what Sedibeng how it's currently working. Hence it can be uzanayo immediately or uzoitola later. Because anyway, this fund, we've got an asset and infrastructure element that's going to help you upgrade your store so that you qualify with AMA conditions with COA. Now, yet again, COA is not the easiest. When you look at Awngis, correct. So COA is not one of the easiest. COA is a certificate of acceptability, right? COA basically, remember I tell you, we need to we are helping you with safe and affordable products. Now, for you to be safe and for you to be affordable, there are a number of things that you need to make sure that they are correct. Example is the example in bis. Now, example. Or see example umbuzolo. How many of us have actually done any form of deep cleaning in the house in the last 2 months? Back on. Deep. I keep week spring cleaning. I keep week spring cleaning. Spring cleaning rayeta. Kibuaka deep cleaning. Where you're using proper chemicals, approved chemicals, to be cleaning to make sure that your facility is correct. Isofa absorbs udoti. Is there any of us doing that? I only saw one hand. 2, 3, 4 hands, 5. So in the midst of everyone no corner, literally it's 5 hands. Now, you are working from your house, right? Which is where most of us are working from. Not all of us, but most of us is Sebenzela, where we stay. That house, it's good. We've been living at Guyu. But remember, our mistakes in the it could be that you've maybe usebenzise, let me use ipoto. Akitse because totally pizza, uberekisa pizza. And how is that dijo? Do you know hori pizza how tshwana gore uberekisa skiri pot? Skiri pot actually gives food poisoning. Why? And then I don't know what happens. I've just heard from SABS that it's not the right thing to do. They don't condone it. If you are in catering of any sort, they don't condone skiri pot. But rona kaofela, we do that. Am I lying? Most of us. Even papa, you can't. You know what I do for my papa? So after cooking, I normally dish up all the food is still hot. And then pizza le nitela mans. So that mans while the pot is still hot, iyaqala ukuboila ukuthi iphakamise isikhokho. So I don't use this. Since I learned that, I don't use a skiri pot. But my point is, it's not what we haven't been doing these things. But because mistakes have happened, you've been blessed enough that your way has not harmed anyone, but you do not know what the future holds. So the best way is to make sure that you are providing an environment that is safe and an environment that is right for your consumers, because that's where they buy. Simple other example. Now the gas is keeping you move. Some of us are the same where we live, it's not big enough, it's the same facility like things are gone. Or it's talk in the same house. Now even that gas is very unhealthy for certain edible foods. Do you know? How Robert that is also not healthy for the food. Maybe some it can work around so it's able to, it's closed enough, but some of it's young and you're contaminated. So even that becomes a problem. So now what the municipalities are trying to do with the COA is not to make it difficult for you. I know currently it seems difficult, and I've heard of so many things like, that you have to go through that. So one of the things that I'm going to ask your HOD is that I actually be the one to help you get a COA. So with the fund, if they can help me unlock that, can the asset and infrastructure portion be what they use so that you can get a COA in return? Because you definitely need a COA. If you are handling food of any sort, whether you are cooking or getting packets of the chips, you still need a COA. Because if you remember, what killed most people last year was from packets that were closed. It was not from the chips or the kota. So meaning whatever we get to use in the environment where we are selling has got an impact of actually contaminating the product itself. Also, what we would do on our end is to train you. But maybe to explain the training, let me start by breaking it down to what is the fund for now. So I said it's a 500 million rand, and each person qualifies for 100,000. The 100,000 is broken down into three. 40,000 maximum is your stock. I'm gonna show you what to do when you do the when I take you through the presentation. 50,000 is for your asset and infrastructure, which is what I'm asking through your HOD to help me you attain that COA, because with that 50,000, if COA says you needed a rat trap, you need to repaint, you need to close some of the cracks in the wall, you can use that 50,000 to take it. Then lastly, you're going to use this fund for asset, no, I've said asset, you're going to use it for training. That is our non-financial support. Now, train. Because, yes, we've been running these businesses for years and years and years, but things change. Many years ago, Gauteng nesa cheese if it go 36. Again, yeah, no, now nakin nako is rent. Good cheese about to stay indoors. So I don't know about you, but we get so hot that they tell us to stay indoors. So we need to start making sure that even that on our end, we are treating it with care. Now what we need to then do between us and yourselves is to train you. What we're going to train you on is digital literacy. Did it start being louder? We're going to train you on digital literacy. Now, people will say, Siziwe, I don't need it in digital literacy. People want to buy their things cash. I don't need a point of sale because it won't work. Fortunately enough, I think today I am in Gauteng. It's the first time we're in Gauteng since the launch. In Gauteng, we know most of us are savvy. Not all of us, but most of us are savvy. So I know for a fact that you do need some of these things, one. Two, on Tuesday I made the example, Yoguti, what happens if everyone, let's use USASA as an example. SASA card can start swiping at a Spaza shop. Are you saying, Uti, when are you going to fall behind because you didn't want digital literacy? So we would like to train you on that. You may not need the skills now, but where we are taking the country, or where the government is taking the country, is that digital literacy is important for you. Secondly, digital literacy is also going to help you with knowing, Uti, sometimes if you can have an app, or you've got a system, maybe your point of sale, how can connect to, maybe if you reka go Clover. Clover, o kgona go bona gore, hey, o se o rekisitse yanong, o sedika dibese tse run away, yeah, tse pedi ne, oh, that's pedi, but o sedika dibese tse 2. What do? So on their end, they already would dispatch so that your shop never runs dry. So digital literacy has got a lot of elements to it. So we're going to teach you on that. We're also going to teach you on credit health. Quite important to that. Why? Firstly, the 100,000 is a breakdown of debt and grant. You've got grant that you're going to get, which is good for your business because you but there's still a debt element. And I know most of you are going to say, are you bad to debt? Or are you fine with the debt? I don't have to explain. Is everyone here good to say we'll take the full 100,000 with the debt portion? Only one yes there. As it currently sits, there's a debt element. Are you comfortable with debt, ma'am? So in most places, people are saying, oh, the applications that we may be receiving, not all of them, but some of them, people have only applied for a small amount because they're thinking they just want a grant. Now, mine is to say, can you please be comfortable with debt? If you could kindly take out your calculators, please, or your cell phones, and then open the app you calculate. Please just do me that favor. Now, let's say you're going to ask for debt, and you're going to get 40,000 being grant, and then the other 40, let's say it's debt. It's an example. In your calculator now, firstly, the debt portion, haizal, haina interest, it's 0%. Number two, the debt portion, you get to pay it over 2 years to 5 years, depending on your business. Now, go calculating how, go book in your 40,000, 40 and then 3 zeros after that, divide that by 60 months, which is 5 years. Omunga kai divide ka 24 months, which is 2 years. Kikupa answer. So we'll round off, but it's 666, so we'll round that off to 670. Now, if you are getting stock of 40,000 rands, are you telling me that you would not be able to pay Skolotisa 670 rands a month? That is my belief too. So when I was helping structure this fund, I thought, no, it should suffice. Number one, because you will be able to afford the payment. Number two, because you're not going to start paying today. You need to start paying 30 June. Moratorium. And that's why I'm saying it as it is. It's called a moratorium. In your agreement, you're going to see this word. But what a moratorium means is that it's a payment holiday. So that means, but harifi tareza DDR re check up business ya how gore e function jwang yetsa jwang. We're going to see Guti. Do you think that you'll be able to pay within 2 months, within 3 months, within 4 months? So that will inform that your moratorium is going to be 4 months or your payment holiday is going to be 4 months. So which means we got to tola chelete today, but for the next 4 months, you don't have to pay. What that helps you with, it will ramping up the cash flow to how. I get but it means for you put away your money, hanyan. I get the business people, I run the NGOs again. Because one of the things again about the fund is that it is for entrepreneurs who are running profit-making businesses, please. So as a business person, you are running a business, so you know how to save money so that there's money for tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. So you then need this element of a break to buy more stock, if more stock is needed, and to also make sure that if there's anything that ever happens, let's say for example your store burns down or you've got a need to buy, maybe something broke and you need to fix it, you need to have extra cash stored somewhere again. So ramp up your cash flow. And then after it's ramped up, then you can ukaqala hubata. So, did anyone do the 24 months? 40,000 divided by 24, no one did that. $1,700. Now, that's the worst case scenario. In the worst case scenario, It means if your store is doing very well, because some of you are doing well, just because maybe you are okay with 7, you think 1.7 is expensive. Babang balona, barakisa 40,000 ka beki. So they are actually able to afford 1,700 rands over 2 years. So even with that said, most of us, if not all of us, would be able to afford the debt portion. I am not saying that debt is 40,000. It was only an example. We're going to calculate it depending on your business, depending on how your funding is structured and how much you're asking for. Excuse me. With that said, I think I've broken it down, and I hope you understand. Fund in can only buy things that are locally produced in South Africa. So we're going to ask that you also try not to purchase things that are outside of the country. But fortunately enough for you, giving you the funds, we're going to be giving you the stock. We're going to be giving you the service. But, so that we're sure, I keep to stand in front of you today, then tomorrow. So, when I what you want. And then I, not me personally, but the team, would take that, the delivery channel, what you need. Then there's what do you call the delivery order? Please use that, use your invoice, tick. Is this what you've asked for? Is this what you wanted? Does it actually match? Calculator how important. Naki accountant, but sometimes, is a calculator. There's nothing wrong with that. Tick. Then if you find a mistake, here's the first thing. Please call this number, 011 305 8080. I'm standing before you and pledging my honesty for this fund. So we are going to do our best, our level best, to ensure that what you are asking for is what is being delivered. I'm going to repeat it. We are standing before you saying that the fund belongs to you, and I want you to receive the maximum benefit from the fund. Hence, I'm saying I'm standing in front of all of you to say I'm pledging honesty for this one. If you see a mistake, call our number. It's 011 305 8080. Now this number is dedicated just the Spaza Shop Fund. Their day-to-day is to assist with your inquiries, help you with your applications, and also check how far your application is on your behalf. So if you've got any of these three, you can still use the same number to call. Which leads me to start with the presentation now. So, I'm going to show you how to apply. And the reason why I'm showing you, like I said, some of us are using people personally. Now, when we are using people, some of you would have received SMSs. Maubani, actually earlier this morning, I woke up quite early to work. I got an email, it was a screenshot. HOD, you sent someone a message which you asked that it must be delivered to me. And you are saying you know nothing because you never applied for the fund. And now one of the problems I have today is someone who's saying they know nothing about this fund. But we have sent an SMS, because that SMS is exactly what I know that Mlungisi and I is what we send out, meaning someone applied for this person. This person knows. Right? But we'll figure it out. Maybe it was someone who, a child at home, maybe someone who thought, I know, maybe it's an elderly person because I don't know this person, but I was just telling you of a problem that has been today recent. The other problem, which is not so today, is this. Sizwe applies, right? But Sizwe, bamthumile ukuthi apply ubaba. Mara uSizwe ufaka ama details wakhe ku system. Babizwa buza ngizobhala Sizwe angibhala yonke into, ID number ngifake yami, the details of mine. Mase kumele ngi-attach ama-documents, ngi-attach ama-documents kababa. See phone again, because after message to me baba, or if he or if he gives you message actually. Sizibe, I'm documents are fucking aksawa, because tell my documents are right. Sizi at oh actually that's a mistake. Ngicela uchinche yonke into efake lapha kube baba. And I'm saying no. I'm not doing that. Because who applied? I applied. And if I'm not the applicant, what is fraud? What is fronting? How am I going to decipher between fraud and fronting if I'm allowing those people to make those changes? So my response is that application is declined, apply again. Because I said we're working with Home Affairs. The minute you put in your ID number, Home Affairs is checking, are you a woman? Are you youth? Are you South African? They're checking everything. CIPC is checking, are you a director of a particular company? If you've registered a company with your registration, is that company South African owned, and so forth. So I used the ID number that sees you to make all those verifications, but you're telling me to put his details. So next time, if the same issue is because you're applying on behalf of a foreigner, how am I going to make the decision between the two? So for me to be fair to everyone, whatever application that comes through, if in the case it is declined instantly. Now, you have to make sure there are no mistakes there, because any details which are on the application, you're only allowed to apply once. You make a mistake and the system closes you off because maybe you used my name or used Ndate's name but my ID number. When we check and then everything is still saying, because DHA is Department of Home Affairs. DHA would have checked. When they respond, they would give me this ID number is correct. They would match the names on the system with the names on the ID. So if yours is now a problem, you can't be coming back tomorrow to complain. But then again, some of it's not your fault. What happens if it's a blind person asking someone for help? What happens if Kikuku, who doesn't know technology? So some of the times, I think we are not nice people sometimes. Like we do the wrong things to other people and that other person trusts you so much to allow you to work on money-related matters on their behalf. So we need to also just start looking at things just a bit differently, and I'm asking and pleading with you to do things right. Lastly, before I start taking you through this, we do not charge for applications. We don't charge. Whatever you've paid, you would have paid to get your COA or your business license. Beyond that, for the Spaza Shop Fund, there is no charge. Now, I've already mentioned, if you want a TUSO or how to apply, you use the number. Secondly, you can go to your nearest municipal office or SEDFA office, because most of you, or maybe some of you have got means to get to NEF, you can still use the NEF offices for your applications. Mlu's team will gladly help you when you get to our offices. But don't rush now, because our offices, we've changed offices. So you will go to the wrong office at this point in time. So give us a week or two, and then we'll be letting you know where we are. We're moving to 70 Grayston, but it's going to come through shortly. You'll know about it. Now, if you can move to the next slide, please, Mlu. The last way of applying, and for you to know what you are doing, is to visit our website. It's www.spazashopfund. This thing is quite far. Leave out the support. Leave out the support. I don't have a gadget on me, so I'm not sure what's going on. Yeah, no, I don't have a gadget on me. So leave out the support and just write Spaza Shop Fund, one word. Ne? www.spazashopfund.co.za. Now that's how you're going to apply. You're going to land on our website. Now, as it's been said, SEDFA, NEF, DTIC, DSDB, we are all working as one. The two agencies, which is the NEF and the DTIC, they are the ones that are rolling out the funds, meaning kuti kibona ba batlo lefang tšhelete. I never wanted DTIC atla ko wena. Ho tla ba NEF, ho tla ba SEDFA. So when you land on any of the sites, you're either going to see both logos or you can see one. But whichever one you're going to be comfortable with, because I'm going to show you what it looks like now. So when you're done with the website on your internet, you're then going to go to how to apply. There's a bar there, how can. If you look at your far right, it's how to apply. More red thing. I'm letting you know because I see you. I can't see myself what's there, so I can imagine that you also can't see. So when you've done with that, you're gonna scroll down to the end of the page and click apply. Now, as soon as you get to that page, you need to start by registering. If you've never used the SEDFA portal, because you're going to use the SEDFA portal for your application, né? Now, we are one. Even if you're using a SEDFA portal, your application will still be received by the NEF. So if you've never registered for SEDFA portal or anything CEFA related in the past, you need to open an account now. I'm speaking about a SEDFA account. So you're going to click on register. Then when you register, it's just going to ask you for your personal details. It's just your name, your ID number, your email address, and your cell phone number. Then you're going to create a password. I've been going to some places, so people have already forgotten their passwords, young and old. So can you write it down? Please write down the password. Whatever password you create, and then how further you're going to submit that. It will rumela. If you chose wena awuna yona email but berekisa cell phone number, it will rumela SMS just to confirm gore ke wena you've registered, or it will rumela email. How you rumela email, you need to confirm, and I do think email is the safest, by the way. It's the safest communication, if I can put it that way. It will send you an email, and then you just click on the blue link. It's written link, but that's the actual link. You click on it just to confirm that the email address ya how and why it's even to if urutoti SMS and how it's ebe, kupa opite phone number elekele feeling you again. Now, when you're done with that, now you're doing the actual logging in. You're going to use your email or your cell phone number and the password that you've created. You log in. And you then scroll down and look for apply for finance. It's green. You click on apply for finance. It's still not, you're not applying as yet. You need to scroll down again. And then you say apply for direct finance. You ask, you are looking for the Spaza shop fund. So it's even telling you on top. But you're going to say apply for direct finance. Now here, these are the documents that we need. I'm going to spend a minute here. And hopefully I'm not taking too much of your time, Program Director. First, I think that I need is your business or permit number. And I need proof. The municipalities give you a document. I need that document, a copy of that document. It's not necessary that you certify it, because we will be verifying that document with the municipality. So, proof your document, a copy of it, attach it. I'm telling you this because even before you apply, you can't finish your application unless you've got your documents. So, you getting the documents to how before you even start applying. But if you haven't, it's fine. You've got the option to save and continue later. So, you need to have your license. If you've got your COA, please attach that. If you've got a business, I need a copy of your company registration documents. Proof of address. I need two things. I need two proof of address. I need your personal one, and then I need proof of address for your business. Some of us are not operating where we're living. So if that is the case, I need proof. If you're not, you can, okay, firstly, if you're giving me your own proof, you can give me municipal letter, you can give me account, whether I get Edgar's, PEP, Ackermans, or cell phone near how, it's okay. Any account that you have, you can give it to me. But it must not be older than 3 months. If you can't have that, let's say there are some parts of the country, the province, sorry, that are very informal. I'm just not too familiar with Sedibeng. But if there are those parts here in Sedibeng, can you go to your chief or your municipality or whoever the councillor is in the area, let them write you a letter that you do definitely live in the place of Tutlalaguyu. For your business, if you're not operating where you're living, can I please have a lease agreement? What is a lease agreement? Kipampir. So long as you know that it's binding. Use a black pen, ne? I'm trying to make sure that you don't spend too much, but if you can use a computer, make it formal, I'm happy. Use a black pen, clean piece of paper, even if it's got lines, it's fine. You're going to write, I, Siziwe Zulu, am using the facilities of Mlungisi Shabalala. If you're registered, you write the name of the registration of the business, the name of the business, registration of the business, write the address where you are using it, and Mlu will then sign that document. I will sign the document. Don't forget to give me how long are you leasing. Is it 2 months, 6 months, 2 years? Let me know the period. And then you just sign. If you are paying rent, let me know the rental amount. Then that serves as a lease agreement. Now, to the lessors, Mutu or the landlord, it's binding even for you. So if currently you've got someone, please, lease agreement. So I'm using your facility, you're using my facility, this is how it's going to go. The other document that I need, I think you can't see anything. I was looking at them thinking, can they see? But it's fine. Because I know them by now, I will just try to be as explicit as I possibly can. Can you also then provide a proof? No, I said your ID. Did I give you ID? Certified ID, not older than 3 months? That is definitely needed. Now, one of the things that we are asking for, if you could just please excuse me for a second. One of the things that we also need is for your asset and infrastructure. Some of you already have suppliers that are good, or you've got a relationship that's good. Because we do ask you in the system, who is your preferred supplier? But if your preferred supplier does not give you the best, we are going to use the suppliers that we've already made an agreement with. Again, but for assets and infrastructure, you may find that if we improve the municipality, I think that's a Midval. Let's say you live in the Midval and we're improving the economy there, you can use a local person. So I need you to give me a quote from that person. Or give me a bank, okay, you can't really give me a bank statement from that person. Most people are not comfortable. But the quote that you're going to give me must have the details of that person so that I can call the person, or the NEF and SEF, I can call the person so that you can get the products that you need. Because before we pay anyone, we need confirmation that everything is in order. With that, we will then proceed with your application. I think most of the other documents that are here, you have them. If you are big, like if your store is very big, you may have to give us your health occupancy certificate, but most of us are not that big. It's not a requirement, so I'm not going to spend time with that. Now I'm going to show you how to apply. Here, it's just the registration information. You just give me your trading permit number and just tell me, do you have a company or do you not have a company? If you do, you're going to tick there, but it's asking, is your business registered? Where there's a blue box there. If it is registered, you tick. If it's not, do not tick. Don't tick things that are unnecessary, because sometimes they block you from proceeding to the next page. Ne? So if you're finding yourself that you are blocked in any way, either just check what you've done. If it's still blocking you, call the number for assistance. You can move to the next slide, please. Here it's that it's more details on the same page that we were on in the previous slide. We're just asking you, how many months have you been operating for? We do not want to disqualify you in any way, but your business acumen, or sometimes too much, your business abilities, your business abilities, sometimes it's limited based on your experience. So we just want to see how experienced are you in this environment. Because even if you started your business in February, we are happy to fund you. If you started last year, we are happy to fund you. The only thing the president said, make sure you've registered by the 28th of February. So if you're only registering today, we are first going to prioritize those that listened to the call. The president's call was important, so that's what we are prioritizing as the first point of contact, or the first point of disbursement and approvals that we're going to make. So if you said you've got a business, it's going to ask you for your tax information. Give me your tax information. We've got SARS, who's verifying. So give me a PIN. If you don't have a PIN, it's fine. You'll give me whatever else is needed on the page, but you're going to attach your certificate, your tax clearance, and we'll verify it with SARS ourselves. And then on this page, it's just the contact details. All the directors. Especially if you're not owning the business by yourself, or if you're a registered company. And on this one again, you need to give me the ID documents of all the directors if you've got more than one. And they must all be stamped, not older than, certified, let me not say stamped, certified, not older than 3 months. So here, you just keep adding, and if you've got social media, you can give it to me where we can check your pages, not to disqualify in any way, but sometimes when we've got our own promotions, we can also do some advertising. Let's say, for example, we funded BB Cash and Carry in Free State. If NEF is posting something, NEF has got a bigger following maybe than BB Cash and Carry as an example, and if we tag BB Cash and Carry, it can make an impact for them. People in Free State, or people, they even deliver in Gauteng in some instances, they can come to you, or you can utilize them. So those are the benefits. But it does not disqualify. If you don't have it, please leave it, move on. And then you're going to have to give us your shareholder details. Here, if you own a company, please make sure that it's equal to 100%. You can't say Usiziwe owns 80% of this business and Ugreg owns 50%. The system will not allow you to proceed. It must be equal to 100. You can't say Greg owns 50% and I own 40%. Who owns the remaining 10? It must at all times be equal to 100, or the system will not allow you. And whatever information you're giving me here, we've got CIPC verifying. Please, if you could move on to the next slide, please. And then when you're done, this is how, it's just a page just to show you that these are the people you would have added and the directors, and then we move on. The next slide is not necessarily for you to do anything on. It's just for you to verify. Because I've told you that we've got other institutions or organizations that are working at the back end, this slide is populated automatically. So you must just check if they are saying you're not a South African, is it true? If they're saying you are South African, you are more than happy because the fund, that's all you need to be. South African and a license, you are happy to move, we're happy to move on. So just verify the details here. If something is not correct, go back, fix it. If you think no, the system is not telling the truth, call the number and let's see how we can assist you. And then you're going to give me your employment status or breakdown for your business, not for yourself, for your business. Remember this, you are also an employee of your business. Don't forget to count yourself. Now, with 100,000, I want to believe that the government is creating at least one more job for your business. I'm not standing here in front of you and saying, go and employ. But I'm standing here in front of you to say, you've got the ability to employ someone else in your business now. There's too much unemployment in the country. One person, if all 200 of us can assist with that, imagine the number of households we'll be assisting with feeding. And you don't even have to look at the next house. It could be Wanawahau Montlung. If you trust that person enough and you've done your due diligence in making sure that you can employ them, alleviate unemployment. That is my request to you. And then here you've got maximum of 5 things you can put. But what you're putting here is the products which you're selling. What are you good in? Are you selling detergents? Are you selling household material in terms of chilled products? What are you selling? You've got 5 fields to let me know. Then if you move on to the next slide, it's your financial information. All we're asking is that you do this for me. May, you made 5,000 rands revenue. Take 5,000 rand, multiply it by 12, gives you 60,000. Give me that 60,000, that's all I'm asking. I do not want to disqualify you by asking you this, but I need to see that you are profit-making or you are making revenues in your business. Because remember, I did say that this is for profit making businesses. So we need to check that there are the actual revenues. Are you operating? And if maybe you are new, you have a business license, but let's say you couldn't, maybe when they were checking, things happen, your store closed down. Use what you last made to calculate. I'm basically saying we're not disadvantaging you for being a startup. So here, your funding requirements, you're looking for the 100,000, break it down for me, 40,000 is for this, and give me the asset and how many assets you want. If it's on the asset part. You want a trap, you want to paint, you want a fridge, what do you want? For us, for your inventory, same thing, break it down for me. What is it on the inventory that you're looking for? And then we'll be able to still take it and take it to our next step. But now, okay, so this is where you're breaking it down, but it says for the assets here. What I'm asking, or what I would like to advise, is this. If you know that your business is using 10,000 rands a week, don't ask for 10,000. Ask for 20,000. Double it up. Why is that the case? One of the things that we are teaching is business skills. Now, with business skills, you need to know that your shop can't run dry before you restock. Even with the manufacturers and the suppliers that we're going to be assisting you or coming to your business, they're going to be replenishing your store or on a weekly basis. So that you know that your store is always operational, whether you're buying yourself or you're using a delivery channel, you just need to make sure that you've got enough stock. At least half if you're dealer this week, then we're stock happy, only half, then you are fully stocked by the end of that particular week. Then you know every week you've got a healthy cycle. We call that a working capital cycle. Right? But only to all of this during your business training for the Spaza shop. If you could move on to the next slide, please. We are almost done. Next slide, Mlu. So, we've spoken about this page. It's all the documents that you need. So you're just going to attach your documents on this one, and then you move on to the next slide. Your application is done. It's just a declaration form. You tick that declaration form, and you submit your application. That's all that's needed. And when you're done with that, it will send you a reference number that will allow you to then use that reference number to check your application. If you call the number, if it's taking too long. Now, we are anticipating that with everything in order, within 4 weeks, you should be receiving your funds. But this includes us working with your municipalities to verify your licenses, which is a process that we are currently undertaking. With that said, let me remind you this. There is no difference between you and a Pick n Pay. You are a retailer. You can grow. Some stores, especially if you look at the cash and carries, they started off as small as maybe your store is right now. They grew to their garages being bigger, to moving on to another shop, and so forth. So do not undermine your ability in what you are doing for the economy. You are playing a vital role for the economy. What you produce for South Africa alone is equivalent to about 178 billion rands for our economy. It may be cash. It may be that people don't want to go to retailers, but communities trust you with their lives. We are asking that can we be the hand that helps you to make sure that you continuously do that job and you remain competitive without closing down. Let's take back our country. Let's make sure that our country is ruled by us as South Africans. With that said, I'm going to leave you, and I must apologize, I have to step down, as you can note, but my colleagues are still available for questions. Please do not be shy to ask your questions. Mlu is well capable to answer all your questions. Thank you.
Besicela nimshaye izandla futhi. I think the word Spaza sounds too local. Ne? From today, I'm going to change your name to become convenient stores or convenient shops. Convenient. How finyan? Ne? Ka pa 7 ebisiu, bana ba batla lebese, o teng wena o ka ba rekisetsa. Akere? Neng hona le mathata ka tlung, mme o batla headache, o so ke headache, o batla dipilisi, o na le high blood or something. Convenience store is there. Because if you have to rely on Pick and Pay or Checkers, they are very far from us. And this means that we can take our economy back. So that number, let me repeat, 011 305 8080. Angithi sinjalo? Makeba, angithi njalo? Yebo. 011 305 8080. I know that most of us here are PPT. We call ourselves born before technology. But today technology is eating. And once we have technology before us, our life is easy. Tomorrow somebody will something but that person can tap kakarata or ka phone. The money comes to your account. Didn't that the apps those machines that they are being used just to pay off a particular transaction. So, with that being said, I just like to differ a little bit on the issue and program. I'll just call one official from one of our local municipalities from Mfuleni, just to explain to you the importance of compliance. Because, yes, the money might be here, but the money may not come to you because how comply. And the reason why we had so many atrocities last year is because people did not comply. And the most important thing, which is number one, deep cleaning. Deep cleaning. You can take your sunlight, clean it. And that little kokwanyana or iqwani ngesizulu, that one can make your food for dangerous. So whatever that we consume must be in line with our health as a people. So banabeso nekopa hore kibitse Osmatsepo otswako Mfuleni, just give us a summary. She won't go detail line by line because I know that whenever you approach Municipality and you're asking for certificate of acceptability and other things, now you know what is required. That's why today you are here. So with that being said, let me ask Osman Sepo to come forth. Generally, this is what is required as an application, acceptable. Otsamayale batuba land use. Osman Sepo, Matumbo from Mfuleni Kupalife Matso.
Dumelang batswadi bo rakgwebo le bo makgwebo ba karo Mfuleni. Ska ha ntate Kreka sa buile ka lebitso ke Matshepo ke sebetsa ka di Spaza shop applications ko Mfuleni. Maybe ba bangata ba se ba re bone hobane re ntse di outreach programs re hlalosa hore o comply jwang for the application re bontsha batho di application form hobane re na le list e nang le 19 requirements the compliance. So when we were doing the outreach program, ne re hlalosetsa batho hore o comply jwang ena we thola kae ena we thola kae jwalo jwalo. So I'm going to go through them again. Ke tlo khutlela ho di requirement tseo hape ho beterenyana. Okay. So ke tlo le balla di requirement tseo hape, and then I will get into the part here where are we standing currently ka the applications, because we've been getting the complaining batho ba re since ba apply last year ha ba soka ba thola hore ho etsalang ka di applications tsa bona. and ne ntse re hlalosa ha ntse re tsamaya re tsa di-outreach program hore ha o tseba a kere re fane ka pampiri ena e buang ka dintho tse 19 tse hlokahalang mme ne re hlalosetsa batho hore dipampiri tse ka nako yane ne ha ne presidente a ne announcer ho nona le grace period batswadi. Presidente o announcitse ka November a re ho tlo kwalwa ka February. So grace period e ne le hore di document tse batlalang tseo tse 19 nne le di batle le di tlise. So hane re ya setjhabeng ne re ke tsena dintho tse hlokahalang tse 19 mare ka baka la hore hona le grace period o ka registera and then o botsa maolo di batla o no di tlise half. So ene le agreement ene re na le yona le setjhaba ye hore applya and then pampiri ke ena ya ntho tse hlokalang o no di batle o no di tlise o no di batle o no di tlise. So the reason why batho ba soka ba thola feedback ya hore applications tsa bona di eme jwang is because setjhaba sa rona ha se so submit dintho tseo tse 19. So re ya makala setjhaba se complain hore nna ha isale ke applya last year ha le so ntwetse hore ho etsala mara ha o so tlise dipampiri and nna le wena ga tseba ha o so tlise dipampiri jwalo batla nne ke re ha wa tlisang empa go file pampiri ngotsweng hore tlisa ntwe tjena le tjena. So ne ke re ke hlalose fela hore lebaka le etsang hore batho ba applyile ha ba so thole feedback it's because ha o so fihlelle ho fihlella ho submita dipampiri tse batlahalang. Pampiri ya rona e bontshang dipampiri tse batlahalang hore o kgone ho thola license. A ke re ka sheko bua ka funding ho supportwa jwang mare ho thwe re ke ra ho supporta ha o sna permit kapa o sna license kapa o sna COA. So COA ya rona ha re kgone ho fa yona o soka o fihlella dipampiri tsena tse ka hodimo le tlo bona hore ha ntse ke bala mo COA ke ya dilas. So meaning how so submitted pampiri tse kaofela COA wa ithola after COA he hotla license batswadi. Listing ya rona ya compliance ntho e re ikupileng ya pele ke proof of zoning rights. Abuti ntla o tlo e hlalosa o tswa land use hobane ho zoning rights hona le hore o thole zoning certificate e leng yona e re batlang ha ebaneng ha wa tjhentjha moaho wa hao hore ebe wa kgwebo ho feta allowance ya di square meters tseo di fuwang ke masepala because hona le di square meters tseo di fuwang ke masepala to say okay ha ona le ntlo go dumela hore o operate kgwebo mara ka di square meters tse kana ha o di feta di square meters tseo then ke mo tlamile o apply le rezoning hobane jwale o tjhentjha completely the law e teng ya mo o dulang teng. Taba ya zoning re hlalositse hore matlo a rona a zonuwe like a bewa hore ke sebaka sa o dulela fela ke zoning eo. So how we tjhentjha wena o etsa business it means hore o tjhentjha pehelo ya mo o dulang. That is why we need a certificate or apply le rezoning so that re tsebe hore okay ka haro Emfuleni re na le dibaka tse kana bakeng tseo re na le tsona tsena ke tsa kgwebo tsena ke tsa agriculture tsena ke tsa eng tsena ke tsa eng. So that is why re etsa rezoning. So how apply application ya hao tlamele be le zoning certificate if how change mo aho completely ho feta di square meter. How change completely o apply la rezoning be re emela le certificate. Ya bobedi ho batlahala building plan e approveweng ke masepala. Bothata o extendile ntlo ya hao ha o no e extenda ha wa jwetsa masepala hore wa e extend. Hona le kotsi mo baahi because nne re extenda ntlo tsa rona re sa jwetsa masepala be re aha hoduma di servitudes. Ho sona le sewage ho sona le eng hobane hara consulta masepala mare he hona le batho ba extendileng ba sa approvelwa ke masepala. So requirement e re dipotso re tlo di nkantate ke kopa fela ho hlalosa ka mora mo re tlatla dipotsong batswadi. So building plan ya hao e tlamehile e bane le stempe sa masepala whether e approvilwe ka 1950 mang masepala o la nna tempa whether approvile ne masepala o la nna tempa ha isa approvewa ke masepala ha re nki hobane a se eo re tsebang re thola rena le mathata mo motho a applyileng o submitile building plan ha ba ya inspectioning building plan ha e tshwane le ntho ba itholang. be se he le yona application ya ha e tswele pele hobane hona le maka ka hare. So how submit a building plan, etsa sure hore ntho e submitileng ke ntho e teng hobane re tlo ba romela. Ha ona building plan e fela ho bo sena di inspectors tse tswang di lo sheba hore ka nnete ntho mo ke ntho e ba tlo e thola lapeng. So ke kopa dipotso nne le di be nna ke kopa fela o hlalosa then re tla tla dipotsong. So high be approved building plan ya hao, and then hona le dibaka tse ding tse senang di building plan ke tlo di bua hore ke dibaka tse feng. So dibaka tseo tsona re nka di application ka ntle ho di building plan, they are exempted ka sejatlhapi. Ya boraro, certified copy of title deed and occupancy certificate. Hona le dibaka batswadi, these are the requirements for everyone, mara hona le dibaka tse qolwang tse senang tsona ke so ha ke bua di case ha di tshwane, mara this is expected for everyone to have unless the law exempt you. A ke go exempt fela ka molomo. Re sheba pele go molao o re mohlomo molao o re Sharkville ha di title deed ha dio, small farm ha dio, Everton ha dio, then re nka ho ya ka molao. Mare motho o mong lo mong whether o rentile ha motho o tlamela o fe title deed ya hae ya ntlo. Ya before re batla certified ID copies, re thola hore batho ba rona ba applyile mara di copy tsa bona ha dia certify. It means that you did not comply to the requirement. But requirement is a certified ID copy. So ha isa certify ha re kgone ho nka. Number 5 ke certified copy or a valid passport ena ke ya batho ba tswang ka ntle. So application ya hao kapa ha eba no tshwere list A ya rona. Number 5 it does not apply to batho ba South Africa. Yabui 6 ki fully endorsed work permit 5 and 6 had applied to batho ba South Africa. Yabui 7 ki proof of address. Proof of address ya rona. It's the latest water and light statement, not older than 3 months. Banking how lo bula account, it's the same requirement. How click a proof of address ya khali, but utlaka the recent one ya 3 months. So how sina a water and light proof of address o le councilor le ngolla, let's say udula RDP udula Mokhukhung, le councilor le khona ho etsetsa proof of address. Mara haebaneng udula ntlong re batla water and lights, le ha se ha hao mustance how fe water and lights. Reason being hona le pampiri a form part of the application form. Ebitswan departmental form e ngotswe di department mo ho ngotswe revenue, ho ngotswe land use, ho ngotswe building control, ho ngotswe environmental health. Ba tlameileng ba comment application ya hao pele o thola license. So revenue wa sheba pele o re wa kolota masipala kapa jwang, wentse arrangement le masipala kapa jwang. Ke di requirements batswadi ga tla dipotso. So re tswela pele. So proof of address harenki are faneng chance ke tlo le fa chance ya dipotso. Proof of address harenki lengolo la account ya Sedgasi kapa account ya kae kapa kae. Proof of address is strictly water and lights kapa lengolo le tswang ho le councilor as proof of address. Re a feta ya proof of address. Number 80 ki letter from the landlord, lease agreement kapa certificate of occupancy. So haebaneng o rentile ha motho le tlameha le be le agreement ya hore vele o rentile. So re batla proof hore haebaneng motho o a kolota re ska tlo shapa wena ka baka la dibetsa haya ke re batla water and light re bone go wa kolota. So ha o rentile ha motho re batla re tsebe hore re dila le mang, o tlise lease agreement ya hao hore wena ha se ha hao mo. Number 9 registration with the Company and Intellectual Property Commission CPIC. Company ya hao tlamele e registeruwe. Ha o sna a registered company, that's why o soka o thola feedback ntse re emetse go lo registera o tlise dipampiri. Re opole hore one of the reason why a program ena ile teng it's so that re hodise dikgwebo. Register your business, formalize your business so that the business di kgone ho hola, so that you have access to the fund tse teng le di grant tse teng hobane ha ona motho a tlo fang funding batswadi o sna a registered company. So le batho ba di informal trading re ya ba kgothatsa hore tsamaya le lo register di company so that the companies tsa lona di hola. Re batlo bona motho a dutse dekeng for 40 years antsa deka rekisa di veggie fela. Register a company ya hao ba o fe funding e kgone ho hola, mohlomong o be le supermarket ya hao ya di veggie kapa fruits and veggie ya hao. That's what we want to do so that the business di hole. It's not really to penalize abantu, because one of the things that we must do is to support and make sure that you qualify for this. Ya buitene ki SAPS clearance, not older than 3 months. Monana what? Oh, re ke hlalose pele company registration ha etswe ke masepala, because batho ba bang ba botsa gore jwale nna ke register kae company ya ka. Re advise hore ya internet cafe mohlomong ditlolo bo mang o kgona ho checka CIPC ke mo registerwang di company mo e se masepaleng. Ene ya SAP clear yona we thola police station wa apply mo ba scanner minano ya how for criminal records and so on, so that we know what we are dealing with. Dipotso tse re di thotseng hantse re tsamaya batho ba ne ba botsa gore so ha ke na le criminal record, does it mean that I can open the shop? But we need to be of knowledge hore motho e re mo fan license ditaba tsa hae di eme jwang, so that we safeguard ourselves when it comes to law enforcement as well. So haibaning we are more una record still isa, because it's a requirement. SAPS clearance e etswa maponeseng e se masepaleng. Ya bo 11 ke SARS tax clearance certificate, not older than 3 months. Everything e re kopang must not be older than 3 months. Ena e tholala SARS ke tax clearance ha etswe ke masepala, ha etswe ke mang kapa mang. Hona jwale ho so tsuile batho ba letsetsang di pampiri. Ke utlwile di group mona tlo ho ke 100 ranta mang wa re etsetsa batswadi di fraud papers. Re sebetsa le SARS, re sebetsa le Home Affairs. Every document e re ikopile mo ya verifywa. So if in le reka tseo tsa di 100 ranta humang, you are just delaying yourself to be approved. So re kgothaditse batho re a tseba ntho tsena di batla tšhelete, mara nka nako ya hao o nno di kopanye, at least o tsebe gore ha o qualify sa mannete e seng ka fraud. So tax clearance e tholala SARS, ra tseba office se le teng mane ne Bed of Park. Number 12 ke LPG certificate ke sa batho ba sebedisang gas. Mme hana bua Elia o buile ka kotsi ya o sebedisa gas, a bua ka taba tsa COA. So ha o sebedisa gas o tlameha o bane le certificate se bontshang hore wa itse bantho be etsang hore se ka tlo tshisetsa batho. So one of the requirements re kopa certificate seo. Ya bo 13 ke fire certificate. Fire certificate batswadi ha e thola hale fire department ya Emfuleni. Department ya fire ya Emfuleni ina le karolo ya yona mo e commentang ho departmental comments. Ha ba o fe fire certificate. Una le pampiri tse ding tse ba fanang ka tsona. So batho ba bangata ba nahana hore ke fire certificate. Ha si yona. Fire certificate mo re kan di fire extinguisher. Ki mo ba o fang fire certificate. Una le bo Mr. Fire Guy ki bonde certificate tse ngata mo jwalo. It's a private company e rekisang di fire extinguisher. So masipala pampira o fang yona from the fire department ha se fire certificate. So haeba no utlile wa submita yona ha si yona. Re kopa o ye mo rekang di fire extinguisher hobane part of the requirement tsa COA ha batla ba tlo sheba shopo ya hao, ba sheba di pente, ba sheba di shelf, ba sheba di basin metsi a tswang a tjhisang a batang, ba sheba le hore o na le di fire extinguisher na, in case ho ka etsala mollo moo kgwebo ya hao batho ba bolokile le wena o bolokile na. So that fire certificate it holala from the private companies tse o rekisang fire extinguisher. Re a ihloka le yona. Ha ba qeta o kenyetsa di fire extinguisher ba o fa certificate was tlisa as part of application ya hao. Se mara ena ke ya batho ba rekisang jwala a ke rona le batho ba reng o entse restaurant kapa phapong and then ka monana o rekisa jwala so application ya hore re mo fe license ya hae ya ho rekisa dijo re ya mo hae bana o rekisa le jwala re batla ho bona le hore o na le license ya liquor na hae applyelwe masipaleng e applyelwa officing tsa liquor board not masipaleng ya be 15 ke registered vehicle license for transportation of food. Hona le batho ba re nna ke a pheya ke a di tsamaisa so we need to know ba bang ke di trailer so we need to know hore koloi eo e sebedisang for dijo e safe na dijo tsa hao ha di kena ka mo ha di poison ha di kopane le ntho tse sa lokang na so we need to see the car e we sebedisang because rena le batho ba re nna ke caterer fela so ke caterer ka matsatsi a itseng so highly jwalo we need that vehicle to be licensed re check le hore e boemong ba o tsamaisa dijo na ya be 16 ke pest control batswadi ko peitelwa ha maphela ditweba le di eng tse ka affectang dijo so o tlamehile le masipala ona le yona environmental health I think environmental health is less than high etswa ke private company so normally batho ba ya di pest control company kapa ba ya environmental health ba lokopa di pest control services so ba ya tla shopong ya hao ba fihle ba spraye maphela ka tsela e sa bonahaleng a ke re gona jwale gore bana ba dina ba ja di poison hobane motho ha rekisa shopong o beile mafenetha mo o beile indikupa dijo le di eng so re avoid ntho pest control wa tla ka di technical what tsa high di chemical tse sa bonahaleng a fihle a o sprayela ha qeta o sprayela o fa certificate se o se bitswang pest control certificate ha e tholahale ho nna di applicationing e tholahela environmental health kapa di private companies that responsible for pest control so le yona e re ya hloka batswadi. Number 17 ki menu in case of preparation hai baneng wena o rekisa sekhambane kapa o restauranteng re kopa menu wa hao re bone hore o rekisang hore le ntho tse o di kopanyang di a kopanyeya na a ke re na le batho ba ruteileng ka ro environmental health ba hlokang ho checka hore dintho tse o di rekisang a se dintho tse tlo affecta health ya batho na hore ka nnete cabbage ikopana le ditapole kapa ho etsala jwang so that sa kopaneng ba kgone ho advise hore a emme tsena ha di kopane di tlo bolaya batho di tlo ba tsamaisa toilet jwalo so re kopa menu in preparation so that re bone hore ka nnete dijo tsa hao di loketse batho ka mora eo here ya COA number 18 ha o so submitile tsena kaofela re tla ho COA jwalo hobane ke go so submitile tseo COA di inspector diatla as ena ha we submit rona re tlo e fa we so di inspector diatla ha o so submitile di documents tsena kaofela batle ha hao ba tlo sheba he hore di tile tsa hao ha ona di crack tse tlo ban danger to the people it's the law it's just that kinana hore batswadi ba nentse re tla re etsa di outreach batsi ba ne ke tsama le di inspector tsa health tsena di ba hlalosetsa hore le pente ya pente e tlameha e be light ba ne ba hlalosa hore tlamehile o bane le di shelf dintho di se tsa dula fatshe so much as re ka re eng environmental health e regulate we hore ha fela motho a sa comply ha no thola COA ke a rata rena le aptipule seretlo I think o teng di inspectors di ile shopong ya hae tsa health tsa fitla tsa mo jwetsa hore mamela pente ha ya loka lukisa ntwe tjena le tjena ha o qeta o ilukisa o re bitse hape re tlo e bona hore e lukile so ha o so e lukisitse ba gutla hape ba tlo checka hore ho so shota eng ba nne ba tsamaya jwalo ho fitlela o comply e bele hona o tholang COA so COA e sebetsa jwalo ya bo 19 e leng ya dilasi ke affidavit from applicants declaring that the information is true and correct so how qeta go kopanya di document tsa hao tlamehile o ye police station o lo etsa affidavit e bolelang hore information e o e submitileng to masepala ke bonnete ba taba ebe di requirement tsa hao di felletse ha di felletse di legalo di department di tlile tsa tlo bona hobane ha se di felletse o di submitile di felletse nna ke release department di tle di tlo sheba hore ka nnete ntho e ngotseng ke ntho e teng na lo re wa comply bese ba ya tla he go issue license ya hao permit ke tsa informal traders a se tsa rona so Spaza shop re dila ka di license informal traders ba thola di permit ba rekisetsang ka ntle so ke di requirement tseo batswadi haebaneng o applyile o batla o tseba ho etsalang re kopa o tle di office tsa rona re tlo o checkela mohlomo motho mo re nna se ke lebetse go pampiri eo ya ntho tse 19 ke ilahletse kae tlo sheba hore o submitile eng o shota ka eng re kgone ho jwetsa nne re kgone ho etsa process ena ke a leboha
nako ya dipotso ya tla ha tsamaye o teng she's not far ne ke batla fela o tlhatsa ntho one ho na le ntho engwe e tshosang ne ba re ke zoning le rezoning ne ke kopa o ska le tshosa I'll tell you why ko town planning una ntho ya gale bana ba ibitsa ba re ke annexure F ne meaning that ha o la go ntlong a certain percentage of your house can be used for business. So how rezoning? So it means to allow people without rezoning, because the zoning in residential with these requirements, house zoning, unless you exceed the usage, then the word re comes in. Rezoning meaning you change what is in the paper. Fair, but I know sometimes it costs a shelter, especially how expand. Ne? But funding is here. Funding is going to help us. Again, let's say for example, that 40,000, keep going, 40,000 or 100,000. Has a ifitla. What do you do with the money? You can't just buy food only. You must also try to address issues like infrastructure. How? Again, funding is not as a stock or failure. Give the entire business. It includes the relooking of the infrastructure. How can I make my business but now let me go to the program. Sharp. Now, NEF licit for Bapresentile. I'm going to start from my left. Kadi number ne. Then kikle mo kadi number kikene kam kadi number. Right? Those numbers retaswaka la ini mona rebose poto khono horto di karabo. And everyone is going to be given a chance for abote. And if somebody has asked the question 8 saying ozwa rkiona, uska repeat. Agara utwan. Bengcela ukuthi uma ngabe umuntu ubuza imbuzo othile bese wena uzwa lo mbuzo ulo bekade ufuna ukubuza ungawuphindi ngoba umbuzo uzobe sowubuziwe I don't know who's going to help me for the numbers. Yes, that was sport ne ki number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Number 4 ki open caps blue. Number 5 me wa yes we na kone yeah we no tanche you know number 5, number 6 hadn't get fella 10 for the first time root reports that's one of the one. Number 6 me wakati be black we na mo kone mama ki 1 2 3 4 5 6 ne Oscar ma ki sa obitsa 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 yaba feletse mewe wena kupa wa tuku kupa kutla mara hanyane uta kutla me wa tuku dula mfatse bo mme hanyane fela tla lebitsa hape o re fela re gone ho utla re diputo tse nang tsona maybe ba tla di botsa le bona go karabo e tshwane ke tla qala pele ka wa pele e ka microphone eng meeting ngizobacela. Ke ne kopa hore ke qale pele ka number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 ne. Then ha re fetsa ka mo re tla ka mo, then we're going to come back for another round ho lona ba ka mo, so that at least everybody athole space. Ngizoqala njoba ngiqale ngapha ngizobuya ngize ngapha bese ngiyaphinda futhi ngibela ngapha ukuthi siqhubeke. Mara ngiyacela, I'm requesting, if there's a question that was asked before and the question sounds njengeyakho ngicela ungayiphindi. Siyazwana? Ngiyabonga. Number 1.
Re ke le dumedise batswadi ka lebitso ke Vosmoze, potso tsa ka dingata ne ke na le dipotso apele for NEF, but ke kopa for no ke botse LED ya rona Emfuleni hore ska ha NEF e hlalositse hore this fund ke yona e tlo re thusang hore re tsebe ba compliant hore thole the COA. Jwale lona ha le masepala le bona ekare le bona ha le ekare le brika hore kgone hore re qualify re thole tšhelete eo. Ne ke kopa ho botsa hore jwale lona le masepala, because ke nana tloa last year November ho fitla hona tjena na intervention ya lona ke itsebi mo le ileng la tla la tlo re thusa hore ka etsa jwang re be compliant. Ne re kopa for now hore re tsebe hore access this fund, re kopa hore le release di temporal permits le temporal COAs, re tsebe ho thola this fund, re tsebe ho ba compliant. Ka kopa.
Number 2.
Dumelang batswadi. Nna ke poto botsa potso. Dumelang batswadi. Nna ke batlo botsa potso e one fela hore re tlo etsa jwang if re sa comply re sa khona thola funding. Na personally ke buela for nna. Na for ke registerile ke eme ka 900 ya tlamile ke lo ka fire extinguisher ba batla tse 2, which one is 450, and ausi ape ka mono bua ka bo dithaele bo e ntho tlamile di etse tšhelete eyo. So ntho tse jwalo tsona tse brikang hore re pele ausi a re no batho ba batle batlo thola ntho tsa bona. The problem is one, ntho tse ngata tse dingata it needs money, and ntho engwe ape ne ke batlo e raise up ke bua ka ntho tsa bo di-pest. Ke shebile nna mo ke dulang mo ke batlo bula tax shop teng ke matiki mane tlase mane. I used to have a tax shop before. Every time I go kwala shop I bought deep freezer khole sa sebetseng tlamile ke kenye diphoofo ke kenye ditamati for diroto a di tla mo. So municipality yona tlamile re thuse hobane ke thote ngata ditoti locationeng kwana. So if ever to comply ka di-pest, it's a big problem. Municipality tlamile intervene. Nna ke fana ka personal experience ya ka hore gale ke na le tax shop ne ke nka bo diphoofo bo etsang ke di pakela bosiu ke di kenya ka deep freezer. Ha ke bula tax shop o say tlamile ke ntsha mo marota pe ke di etse mo ka baka la ditweba. So le yona municipality ka yona ya compliance ya di-pest tlamile e tlohelle ntho because na re problem ya toti locationeng kwana because ditweba ha o kwala bosiu di mathela kae di mathela tax shop on di just stop.
Number 3.
Ke le dumedisa hle bana beso haholoholo ke kopa ho bua le mme wa ka ekare ha lena mohau. How can batho ba qala e be le go tshwanetse pele mona ke tax shop e le itse le tlo re fa tšhelete hore re qale re ikemele moruo o tle ho rona. Ene e bohloko ka ho fetisisa ne ke batla ho bua khutsane mare pelo ya ka e bohloko. Hona le batho ba fihlileng banka ditšhelete ba ntse ba etsa ditšhelete le ona jwale empa bona le hona jwale tje ha uwe ho bona. Rona ba tshwantseng ba qale ho tshwanetse re qale ntho ngwe le ngwe le sekono jwang hle batho ba modimo re kopa thuso re ya kopa hlenne hore ke ntshe dikeledi re feng tšhelete le re sale morao le shebe hore dintho tse le di batlang re a di etsa. Ke a leboha.
Next.
Dumelang. Ke a le dumedisa batswadi le di stakeholders tse tileng mona. Ra leboha ka ntho e le entseng. Potso ya ka e ya ho Emfuleni. Ho tloha last year re matha. Ke kopa ho botsa fela compliance overall charge ya teng kaofela ke bokae? Because DTIC ke ena ya tjho. Application ya rona e ka approve within 4 weeks. Re mathile 8 months for compliance list ya lona. It's how much altogether list ye kaofela ke bokae ntho tseo? Thank you.
Ndiyabulisa endlini angazi kuyavakala na. Okay, ndiyabulisa endlini. Mna mangithula ndijonga yonke le compliance eniyifunayo khona la. Mangithula ngibheka zonke izinto enizi explainile khona la. Thina as ama Spaza shop asingeni indawo khona lapha. Ngifuna ukwazi mna mntu one container i-building plan ngiyifumana phi? Mna mntu one tax shop engirana emkhukhwini i-building plan ngiyifumana phi na mna? Siyeka ninzi kwamasipala sifuna uyocheckisha izinto esishota ngazo because ever since sisubmitile on December no message, no email echoyo ukuthi kunama outstanding document ekufanele siwasupportile. Masiya Emfuleni siyofuna ukuchecka izinto lezo, ama security asivalela ngaphandle, asingeni nokungena. Kanti singobani thina? Kanti singabaphi thina? Laba bantu abalapha ngaphandle babuya le kulamazwe angaphandle baya operator. Kanti thina so operator kuphi nini? Ngicela nilungise indaba zenu bantu base South Africa because thina sila akulala siyakhona. Ngicela ukuqala niyekele indaba yokuqala ngabantu bangaphandle, niyekele abantu bakule ndawo yenu. Jabulela.
Next.
Sanibonani bazali. Mna ndikhala ngomasipala. Umasipala usiphatha ingathi thina singamavela ngaphandle. Nina abantu bakwamasipala niphatha kakuhle abantu bangaphandle kodwa thina ama South Africa anisiphathi ngendlela eyiyo. Di apply last year mara nkatholi nix. Uye pha elokishini lami. Dihlala nabantu bangaphandle baneziphaza shop mari andikaniboni nisiya niyoba checka ukuthi bona basebenza kanjani but mna ndingumSouth Africa nizoza kwami dithatha phi imali yoba ndenze amanto banayo bona abanayo bona balala phezukwempuphu ezithina siphinde sizithenge sizitye but amaphela lawe aniyo wachecka kubo mari thina anisiphathi ngendlela eyiyo. Umasipala weMfuleni uthengiwe nithengise ngeSouth Africa nina. Imfuleni ayiwathanda ama South Africa ithanda amaPakistan. Nithe nizothuthukisa uMzantsi Afrika but anenzi kanjalo. Anisithandi nina abantu base Emfuleni nithengiwe niyathengisa ngathi.
Bengicela ne. Sorry, hanyani fela. Ena se mass meeting to attack anybody. Ena ki re tlo botsa akere re batla thuso. We have identified the gaps where we are suffering or where we are not being helped. Ne? Funding itlile Emfuleni ya Araba, masipala ba Araba. Impa doesn't mean that all the answers that are here banal tsona di karabo for everything. But all I'm saying is we ask our questions in a way that solution so that this funding that will help us with an infrastructure to resolve issues about zoning and so on. Re-access everything. Because what I've picked up is that the requirements of this funding and the requirements that Emfuleni is asking for, there's a similarity from time to time. The difference that mobile technology, quicker, you apply, your both are decline or not. But when about the form individually so. So all I'm saying is we will be as municipalities go towards getting this thing live on the website. to ensure that the response iba ka pelenyana. But the president has made a call February to say, guys, let us try by all means to comply. So for us to get this funding, 500 million, which is there, let us make sure that we try by all means to comply. I know that certain things, this is what exemption, and that is what Osman Sepo was trying to say there are areas and places where there's exemption that has been given, that Mona in a but let us make sure that there is what you call COA, Certificate of Accessibility, for whatever reason. So, Ausi, this is your turn.
Dumelang. Osman Sepo, taba ya application, nna ne ke entse ke buella problem ya ka ke sebeletsa ka tlung. So ona le challenge ya hore ha ke sa thola di mangolo a metsi. So bothata bo teng sale ke emiswa metara ka o robile. So ka o reporta metsi a lekwa ho Mr AB ha ba kufusa. So salam fa reference number ha o so lokisi so ntse ke sa patala because hona le di challenges tsa ntsa hore ke tlamile ke khutele fana beile hape ke lo etsa di requirement ba khona hore ba reverse whatever amount e ne tsa etse ene le incorrect. So since ke emetse hore ho tlo lokiswa meter hore ke khona ho thola assistant hore ke khona ho thola bill ya metsi. So ntse ke eme o itse up until o lokisitswe meter then it's whereby I can continue paying. So ke challenge ke na le lona. So ka mantso mang ke tlo emiswa ka lebaka la ntho e sale ke reporter, I think it's 2002 and ke reporter hore meter ka o robeile, then ba tlo replace ha ba so replace up until today. So ntse tholi di bill tsa hore ke kolota jwang because ba la ba tlamile ba reverse on ntho tse tshwanang le tseo then ke khona hore ke thole di bill hape ke khona hore ke continue go patala. So ke santsane ke na le challenge and ke a bona di requirement teng ya batleya like a bill ya masipala. So ke tlo etsa jwang challenge e tshwanang le eo ne kopa ke thuso.
Thank you. This row, Kikopa also but to buy 10. Oh, yeah. 1, Abuti, 2, Ausi. No, it's 1, 2. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Okay, no, it's fine. Thank you. Okay. The post is butsweng ka mo akere le dutlile ka. So ke go ba re tshole di karabo tsa tsona pele before re tla ka mo. Over to Osman Sepo le team ya hae.
Okay, batswadi most in a city potso akere ene le hore jwetsa hore re rekuwe jwalo jwalo. So the potso there were only few. Ke hlalose batswadi hona by law etswileng after president its announcement ya hore di tax shop di register. Gazette by law it's ala ba tlo amenda ba itse di changes tse itseng kapa ba tlo enka ele jwalo. Bylaw etswileng from government hodimo ke yona ene bua re ho batlala eng hore le comply. So ha se emfuleni e brikang batho ska batho ha ba nahana mare ke bylaw etswileng ena le di requirement tseo. Ha ne re etsa di outreach re buile hore bylaw eo etswang hodimo governmenting re nkile as masipala hore le thole di library so that mo le batlang ho etsa di amendments teng le batlang ho e fetola teng le khone ho e fetola. Re advertise itse hostere for a month. Ga ba ga bua le di outreaching tsa rona hore bylaw e tswile batswadi e buang ka di requirements. Ha e baneng hona le tseo